Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Tuesday, November 26, 2019. This morning we have a special broadcast, so let's get started with announcements. Interact Club will be hosting a holiday party on December 20th. At this party there will be food, games, a white elephant. If anyone is interested in participating, please see Rebecca Rodriguez or Mr. Fucci. Pep Rally Prep. Students in grades 9 to 12 are welcome to join in making posters for the pep rally today from 3 to 6 in the student cafeteria. Refreshments will be served. Please join us and share your school spirit. The RPHS Theater Department is pleased to announce that the 2020 RPHS Spring Musical will be Disney's The Little Mermaid. Auditions for this will be held December 2nd and 4th at 5:30 p.m. Sign-up sheets and audition packets are located in the high school main office. All students that wish to audition must sign up, fill out an audition packet, and bring the packet to the audition. Please see Mr. Wachowski, Ms. Dombrowski, or Ms. Arango with any questions, or email musical director Doug Panetta at dpanetta@rosellepark.org. Roselle Park School District. French Club Movie Day, December 11th. Ratatouille with Chef Gaston. Snacks is included. Popcorn, chips, cookies, juice. Right after school in the library. Tickets are $5. Get your tickets today from Yassine, Ivani, or Ryan. No tickets will be selling at the door. Bake Sale. French Club Holiday Bake Sale. Right after school on December 18th. Toys for Tots. Interact is hosting their annual Toys for Tots collection, unused, unwrapped toys. Please bring them to room 1 or the main office. You can also bring them to one of your teachers since it is a competition amongst teachers as well. Today is Twins Day. Twin up with a friend or maybe a teacher. Tomorrow, Wednesday, November 27th, is the pep rally. Wear your class shirt or color. There are a lot of good things to say about Thanksgiving, but there is nothing better than mashed potatoes, especially when they are prepared by Mr. Rock.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the kitchen. We are in November, so what's the big holiday in November? Thanksgiving. So we're going to start preparing some items for Thanksgiving dinner. We're going to start with mashed potatoes. Here are the ingredients that I went and bought, all ShopRite ingredients. So when I peel the potatoes, I will use the old ShopRite bag that came with it, and I'm going to peel the potatoes right into that bag. So that way you have your potato peels. They're not going all over the place. They're staying in one place. So I rip the bag open a little bit. Here's our potato. So to peel a potato, pretty easy. There's lots of different theories on this. My theory is don't cut yourself. So I do it this way. I know lots of people who will. Some people like a perfectly clean potato. What does that mean? It means all of the skin is off, take all of the imperfections off. Okay, so like we have an imperfection right here, we have an imperfection right here. Some people will leave that, it's not a big deal. Some people can't stand that. I know I have family members that hate seeing anything in the mashed potatoes other than the potato. Okay, so you have a clean potato. I'm going to put that in the pot. We'll do one more.
Yeah.
So if you see the potato as I'm cleaning it, you'll see that I'm getting dirt back on the potato. So this is one of the reasons that I say don't bother rinsing it beforehand. Wait until you're done peeling it, and then you can put it into the pot. We're going to take it over to the sink, rinse them off, and then we'll cut them. So we have, so for me, this is a pretty good potato. Some people will want all these little brown pieces. There's a brown spot here, brown spot here. Most people want to take those off. I'm okay with it. So we put it into the pot. We're going to take it over to the sink. Just rinse them off. Okay, in the water. Drain the water. And then we can bring it back over to our workstation. And we're going to prepare to chop up the potato. So we have our cutting board. Get our knife that I just freshly sharpened. So to cut a potato, you always have to cut it in half first. So we'll cut straight down. All right. And then all you want to do is make essentially little cubes. When you are cutting the potato into cubes, keep in mind that the bigger your cube is, the longer it's going to take to cook. So I usually try to do about a medium-sized cube. Okay, if you see, that's about a medium size. You're going to have some smaller ones. But if you go anything bigger than that, it's going to take longer to cook. You go smaller than that, it may cook a lot faster, while others don't cook as fast, and your mashed potatoes could end up turning out not the way you want them. They can turn out to be hard, okay, or mushy. So basically a rough chop. All right. Once you're done cutting it, we're going to put it in. Add it into our pot. We'll do one more for practice. Now, one thing that I will do, and I recommend always doing, is you were just working with the potato. I recommend rinsing them one more time before you actually add the boiling water to it, or the water to boil. So again, I'll rinse one more time. Okay, so we have cut all of our potatoes. And as I was saying earlier, if you're going to boil potatoes, you want to cover all of the potatoes about a half an inch to an inch or so above. Fill the water above the potatoes by a half an inch to an inch. That way when they're cooking, they're going to be more evenly cooked. If you don't do this and some of the potatoes are sticking out, they could turn hard, they may not cook, they could dry out, lots of different things. So you got to make sure that everything is covered. And also, the reason you put it up so much is that way when you're cooking it, there's going to be steam coming out, the water is going to evaporate. So as you start to cook it, the water will evaporate down, but it still covers the potatoes. So what we're going to do is, they're all cut. They've been rinsed, they're in the water, they're ready to go. We're going to turn it on, we're going to boil them. Once they are boiled, we'll reconvene. All right, so welcome back. Our potatoes have been boiling. They are pretty much ready. One of the questions I get all the time is, how do you know if they're ready? Just take a fork. Stick a fork in it. For sure you heard that saying before. You'll feel for softness. You want to see if the potatoes are soft. If you stick the fork in and it comes out clean with nothing on it, just the water, your potatoes are ready. If they feel hard, or if you stick the fork in and potatoes start to come back out, that means the potatoes are not done, so you want to let them cook a little bit. Ours is ready, so we can turn off our burner. We have to straighten them first, so I'm going to take them over to the sink. All right, we'll turn the water on, run some cold water, and we're going to drain our potatoes. Okay. Let the water drip out. They're looking pretty dry. Okay, we add them right back into our pot. So when the potatoes are done, you put them back into the pot. This is what you're going to see. So now we have to mash them. So I do a two-stage or two-step mashing. When they're still whole like potatoes, I will use an actual potato masher. We're going to mash them up. Pretty much all you're doing is pushing down using the masher until you have a consistency that looks like this. It's the first step of your mashed potatoes. Okay? Once you have it to that point, what I do is I will start to add my butter and my milk. Now there's quite a bit of potato here, so this is going to take quite a bit of butter. So I know a lot of people don't cook with butter, they cook with a little bit. Don't judge, we're going to put quite a bit of butter in here. Now, in order for even melting of the butter, I use small pieces. Okay? I use small pieces of butter, put that in, give it a little bit of a stir so the potatoes can start melting the butter. Alright, we'll take our milk out of the fridge. We're going to add just a little bit of milk to start. Okay, once you add the milk in, what you want to do is take the pot, put it back onto the burner that's still warm. The burner's off, but it's still warm. Put it in there so that it doesn't cool the potatoes off too far. Then we can go to our second stage of making the mashed potatoes, mixing them. We use a blender. So we have our blender here. Okay, make sure it works. Make sure you put the blender all the way into potatoes before you start mixing. Otherwise you can end up sending potatoes all over. Okay, I'm going to do a medium speed. Start blending. Now if you were paying attention, I put in a certain amount of butter and I put in only a little bit of milk. When you're making mashed potatoes, depending on how much potatoes you have, the potatoes are going to dictate how much butter and milk you're going to need. And also, depends on how thick or creamy you like mashed potatoes. Everybody is different. For these ones, it looks like they're going to need a little bit more milk because these are still pretty thick. So while you're blending, all you have to do is add it in. Always add just a little bit at a time. So now we have what you can see is mashed potato consistency. The last ingredient that we have to add, and we're going to use the wooden spoon to stir it in, is a little bit of salt. We have the butter, we have the milk, and now we're just going to add the salt in. Again, this is all to taste, depending on how you like it. A little bit there. Now I'll take the wooden spoon. So now, as you're coming to the end here, you have your mashed potatoes. You're going to have to taste it because it all depends on how strong the potatoes are, how many you have in there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to taste it to make sure that there's enough salt, that there's enough butter. When you do tasting, make sure that you only use one fork at a time. After you use it, you discard it, put it in the sink. And they're good. So as you can see, here's your mashed potatoes. You have a nice, pretty thick mashed potato. Again, some people like them a little bit more on the creamy side. Some like it on the thicker side. And there you have it. There's your mashed potatoes.
Congratulations to the bowling team for winning their season opener against Jonathan Dayton last night. Francio Mello and David Bromilski led varsity to victory with a final score of 2,247 to 1,601. JV was also victorious with a final score of 1,929 to 1,573. Their victory was led by Tyler Monaco, David Gretton, and Kevin Lopez. Their next match is today against Linden. Thanks for watching RPtv. Have a great day, and we are broadcasting tomorrow, so have a happy Thanksgiving and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Hi, I'm Carl Azus. This is our last show of the week and the month. We'll be back on air next Monday, December 2nd. Thanks for giving us 10 minutes of your time. In the capital of the United Kingdom, Uber has lost its license. And if it loses its appeal, then Londoners and visitors will have to call a black cab, use the tube, or find another ride-sharing service. Uber first had its license suspended in London in 2017. The city didn't like how the company responded to serious crimes and questions about its safety. But it's been given probation periods since then, which allowed Uber to keep giving rides. Now, though, Transport for London says it's identified a, quote, pattern of failures that have put passengers at risk, including thousands of trips that were given by unauthorized drivers, some of whom had been fired, but faked being authorized ones. Uber says it's changed its business and is now, quote, setting the standard on safety. It calls London's decision extraordinary and wrong. You can still order an Uber there. The service is allowed to keep operating while the appeals process plays out. But there are concerns about the future of its 45,000 drivers in London if it permanently loses its license there. There are also concerns about Uber's revenues. London makes up a significant part of those, and the company is facing more competition there from other ride-sharing services. 10-second trivia. Which of these companies is not considered a unicorn? DoorDash, SpaceX, Instacart, or Netflix? A unicorn is a private startup business worth at least $1 billion, and Netflix is publicly held.
The music with the Sony Walkman.
The Sony Walkman is a tiny stereo cassette player with truly incredible sound.
Our company is trying to use AI technologies to solve the real-world problems.
What are some of the hurdles that can make Japan a place where startups and unicorns can flourish?
We need more diversity to think or adopt more new radical idea.